Greetings to the Honorable Board of Examiners, to the Honorable my Thesis Supervisor, Ibu Iin Mayasai. Allow me to present my thesis titled A Study on Consumer Behavior to Buy Groceries Online During the COVID-19 Pandemic. My name is Anjani Miranti Putri, and this is my presentation as part of my study in Universitas Gadjah, Mada. Now let's first with the start introduction. The evolution of retail market in Indonesia started back in 1960s, where Sarina was first built as the first department store in a modern concept building. In 1970s and 80s was the first time of supermarket concept. In the 1990s, mini market, convenience stores, and also cash and carry concept was introduced. In the 2000 and 2010 era, hypermarket and franchising concept was being introduced, such as Carrefour and Giant. Then in 2010, until now, when the internet is on the rise, e-commerce and C2C channels started to emerge. It was the first start for Tokopedia, Bukalapak, and other online e-commerce platforms. Online food purchases was also marked by the rise of platforms such as Happy Fresh, Sayurbox, as well as GoFood. Alongside with the modernizations and transformations of digitalization, the market's demand is also evolving. A researcher, Shahnaz, in 2016 mentioned that this condition is a challenge for modern retail outlets to be able to survive amid the emergence of similar e-commerce businesses. There were two factors that becoming the root of this thesis research. The world is facing a COVID-19 pandemic, and e-commerce grew rapidly in Indonesia. When the COVID-19 pandemic started and hit Indonesia in the early quarter of 2020, mobility restrictions and people wanted to go outside have made the people to require live differently, shop differently, work differently, and spend their time differently. Staying home has increased the need for online shopping, and there has been rapid changes in behavior that would have been predicted to take years. People have been adapted quickly to purchase groceries online as well. The growth of e-commerce was accelerated with the recent COVID pandemic situation. Consultancy Asia in 2021 mentioned that Indonesia has all the making for thriving e-grocery landscape. Alongside a significant usage and revenue impetus, what COVID-19 has done was building a tech-savvy culture in Indonesia, with consumers willing than ever to make an online purchase. According to LEK Consulting, e-groceries in Indonesia had reached a gross merchandise value of around $500 million in 2019, where the second leg is market penetration. For the analysis, the critical mass required for an e-grocery boom is 5% of market penetration. It took China e-grocery market penetration in half a decade to jump from 0.4% to 3%. Indonesia could make the jump past 3% by 2025 as it emerges from crisis. With the problem identification stated above, this paper research question is: what factors influence consumer behavior in the decision-making process on the digital platform during the pandemic? And the research objective is to study on consumers' behavior changes for online grocery shopping in Indonesia and analyze the different sets of influencing factors in the steps of their purchases. Next, we will move to Chapter 2, the Literature Review. This research is referring to the Framework of Consumer Behavior Model by Mother's Law and Hawkins 2015, which proposed external and internal influences contribute to the formulation of self-concept and lifestyle, which affects the consumer decision process. During this process, experience and acquisitions update the original external and internal influences, which leads to a person's needs and desires, affecting their decision process. This process of experience and acquisitions in turn affects the consumer's external and internal characteristics. Purchasing decisions by consumers using methods both online and offline or other methods used in purchasing have been researched previously by previous researchers, which are described in the detail as follows. Stankiewicz in 2017 research showed a framework of moments that matter in the consumer decision-making process, and factors that influence them was elaborated for a possibility to influence consumer behavior in favor of the company's offers. Koch et al. 2020 in their research entitled Online Shopping Motives During the COVID-19 Pandemic Lessons from the Crisis. Based on their results, they argued that during the COVID-19 pandemic, normative, utilitarian, and hedonic factors are positively related on consumers' online purchase behavior. The differentiation between internal and external subjective norms provide this research with an opportunity to assess the relative strength of these motivations in the context of predicting purchase intentions. Bauereva and Brasinikova 2021 research results showed the choice of channel is influenced by the factors given by channel's benefits, the product, the brand perception, loyalty, and customer characteristics. This research is using qualitative methodologies to get an in-depth insights from consumers done in individual interviews. Participants were chosen not because of their opinions were representative of dominant opinion, but because their experiences and attitudes will reflect the full scope of issues under the study. The study aimed to get insight, facts, reasons, and suggestions from consumers' behavior changes for online grocery shopping in Indonesia. The research has set up an in-depth interview with 10 people to explore insights into consumer behavior in general. They must at least have experienced shopping groceries online at least since the pandemic. The resource persons have an average age of 24 to 58 years old. They all have different professions. Some are housewives, some are working, some are entrepreneurs, and there are also males who shop groceries online. The varieties of background enable the study to explore the different perspective of people who have shopped groceries online that was growing triggered during the pandemic. The profile screening of the respondent was by age, city, and platform use. It covered at least big cities in Indonesia, Jakarta, Bandung, and Surabaya. Aside from that, the research also looked into their age profiles to represent different age groups. The application platform used was also considered to have wide spectrum to get better insights in their behavior with a variety of perspectives using different application platforms to shop. Next, we will go into results and discussion. The respondents revealed that marketing activities in the form of advertisements that appeared on social media were one of the factors that influenced them. They were influenced by friends, communities, families, and groups that they already really know or within their social groups. They believe these people will say the truth. Interestingly, when discussing buying groceries online, there were also influences from other people outside of their network, such as influencers or reviews on the website page by the people who have tried the products before. Looking at the answers, the respondents aged 30 and above are mostly influenced by advertisement, friends, and family. while the respondents aged 20 to 29 are more likely to be influenced by product reviews instead of friends or family. In the internal factors, shopping groceries online is preferred because it saves time, easy access, cheap, safe, and effortless. The consumers were aware that they need to be very careful in choosing the products. They'll ask details, read more descriptions, and reviews. Although most of our respondents are taking into account that shopping groceries online is for practically purpose, but there are some respondents who are emotionally happy to receive the package like a gift from the South. From the descriptions above, we can also see that shopping groceries online is more into utilitarian instead of hedonic motivations. They purchase groceries online to fulfill their daily needs, and they are motivated to avoid crowds during the pandemic situations. The pleasure comes from shopping groceries online, comes from the ease of finding the items and able to shop comfortably. The first purchase determines the remaining continuity. The participants try to get their trust in the first transactions and finds and chooses a credible platform or sellers as an alternative during the pandemic situation. The final stage is decision process. Unlike shopping offline or in supermarkets where the buyers can interact with people, touch and feel the products, shopping for groceries online mostly rely on the display on the platform. If you take a look on other researches that was done during the pandemic, we can see that Jobber et al. 2020, who conducted a study on the COVID-19 influence in the economy, explained that COVID-19 pandemic resulted in high feelings of insecurity in the social system. Koch et al. 2020 study finds that hedonic motivation is a better predictor of purchase intentions than utilitarian motive. However, the result is different from the result of this research, where utilitarian motive is even more dominant than the hedonic. But a similar phenomenon of our research showed an almost similar in South Korea. The findings by Bei and Shin explained that there has been a significant change in the behavior in South Korea as a result of the pandemic. The Korean government policy imposing social distancing has made the e-commerce growth to grow very rapidly there. This is almost similar to what happened in Indonesia, where the restrictions has made e-commerce to grow rapidly and consumers were pushed to try these shopping alternatives. And finally, they find comfort and will continue in the future. In the conclusion of this study, the implication has both stakes in academic and practical aspect. In the academic aspect, the consumer behavior model still has relevance with online channels, and the study can be used for references or marketing studies. In the practical aspect, the information input for marketers can set up a strategic decision on marketing, such as utilizing or influencing factors, maintain the ease and practicality of the platforms, maintain the quality and services, provide more shopping options, simple and easy navigation, as well as integrated system in the application. This research study, however, has its limitation, as it only covered big cities in Indonesia, Jakarta, Bandung, and Surabaya, which has a more mature digital environment setup. And the research is based on consumers' experiences. The suggestions on further research is to involve more informants from various cities to enrich the point of view using other research methods and determine other factors that can influence consumers' decision. It is also possible to further use other indicators than consumer behavior model, or possibly using data analysis from e-commerce platform on shopping transactions, which are able to capture consumers' journey during the shopping online experiences. That will be the closing of my presentation. I hope the presentation can sum up and convey my thesis research clearly. And this research can bring benefit to others. Appreciate your time and attention. Thank you very much. See you very soon. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.